Hello and welcome and namaste from New Delhi. You're watching DD India Live. I am Gautam Roy. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Palestinian recognition gains momentum on the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly, deepening the global divide over Israel's Gaza offensive. US President Donald Trump is set to address UNGA tonight. The White House says he'll talk about his vision for the world targeting globalist institutions. Iconic actor and director Mohanlal receives India's highest film honour, Dada Saheb Phalke Award, at the 71st National Film Awards. And Assam bids a tearful farewell to its beloved son, music legend Zubin Garg. French President Emmanuel Macron has formally recognized the state of Palestine, aligning with a growing number of Western nations ahead of the UN General Assembly, or during the UN General Assembly on its sidelines. At a high-level summit co-hosted by France and Saudi Arabia in Paris, 6 nations, France, Andorra, Belgium, Luxembourg, Malta and Monaco, announced their recognition of Palestinian statehood. Speaking later at the UN in New York, Macron declared, and I quote, "The time for peace has come," end quote, adding that nothing justifies the ongoing conflict in Gaza.
Pour la paix entre le peuple israélien.
For peace between the Israeli people and the Palestinian people, I declared that France today recognizes the state of Palestine. The time has come to stop the war, the bombings in Gaza, the massacres and the fleeing populations. The time for peace has come because we are moments away from no longer being able to grasp it.
Now, France and other nations recognizing Palestinian statehood has been met with strong criticism from Israel. Israel's ambassador to France, Joshua El Zarqa, called the move a waste of diplomatic efforts and described it as a hostile decision which could destabilize the Middle East or West Asia.
The President's announcement of last night, I think when it comes to the history of diplomacy in the Middle East, is one of the biggest wastes of a significant tool that could have helped promoting peace, and instead of that is creating unrest. France is unfortunately becoming a destabilizing agent in the Middle East because of their, I don't know if what is behind it, but the need for them to make statements that are, more show than anything else.
Now, with all this happening, US President Donald Trump will be addressing the United Nations General Assembly tonight to emphasize America First worldview. The address comes at a precarious moment at the world stage with the conflicts raging in Ukraine and Gaza, despite Trump's efforts to play peacemaker. The White House has said that Trump will talk about his vision for the world and will also target globalist institutions. Russia has warned that allowing the New START nuclear treaty with the United States to expire or lapse in February 2026 would pose significant risks to global security. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov said that without an extension or new agreement, both the nations could face an arms race with no bilateral framework for regulating strategic nuclear weapons. Russian President Vladimir Putin proposed a one-year extension of the treaty's limits on deployed warheads, but emphasized that Russia would take unspecified actions if the US does not agree. The White House has also expressed interest in the proposal, but no further discussions have been scheduled. The treaty caps the number of deployed nuclear warheads to 1,550 for each nation, and both the countries possess the largest nuclear arsenal in the world. NATO on Tuesday warned Russia that it would use all means to defend against any further breaches of its airspace after the downing earlier this month of Russian drones over Poland and Estonia's report of an intrusion of Russian fighter jets last week.
Following the meeting, allies issued a strong statement of solidarity and resolve. They condemned Russia's reckless actions, which are escalatory, risk miscalculation and endanger lives. Allies affirmed yet again that our shared commitment to collective defense is unshakable. We do not want to see a continuation of this dangerous pattern by Russia, intentional or not, but we stand ready and willing to continue to defend every inch of Allied.
Now, US President Donald Trump has signed an executive order on Monday calling the Antifa movement a domestic terrorist organization. According to the Anti-Defamation League, which tracks extremists, Antifa is a decentralized, leaderless movement composed of loose collection of groups, networks and individuals. The White House said that Trump's 370-word executive order directs all relevant executive departments and agencies to investigate, disrupt and dismantle any and all illegal operations conducted by Antifa or anyone who funds such actions. The White House has promised actions targeting left-wing groups following the assassination of conservative influencer Charlie Garg. US comedian Jimmy Kimmel's late-night talk show, which was abruptly pulled from the air last week after the US government threatened broadcasters, will be back on air on Tuesday. The sudden suspension by ABC, which is owned by Disney, came after conservative complaints about comments Kimmel had made in the wake of the shooting of activist Charlie Kirk. Opponents saw it as the latest step in creeping government control of free speech, which is an article of faith for many Americans as well as right enshrined in the country's constitution. Donald Trump has repeatedly complained about negative media coverage of himself, and last week he thought it was illegal. Trump had celebrated Kimmel's removal, calling it great news for America. A group of US lawmakers on a rare visit to Beijing raised a deal with the top Chinese leaders which could see China commit to buy more Boeing jets. US Ambassador to China David Perdue said he thought the negotiations had entered their last days or weeks, adding that the deal is very important to the president. Boeing is in talks to sell as many as 500 jets to China, representing a major breakthrough for the company in the world's second largest aviation market, where orders have stalled amid US-China trade tensions. Now, in the Asian continent, Indonesia and European Union have finalized negotiations on a trade agreement Tuesday after nearly a decade of talks. The Indonesia-European Union Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement is the third deal Brussels has signed with Southeast Asian countries after Singapore and Vietnam. The pact was signed by EU Trade Commissioner Maros Sefcovic and Indonesian Minister of Economic Affairs Airlangga Hartarto in Bali. The pact will open investment in strategic sectors such as electric vehicles, electronics and pharmaceuticals. The EU said in a statement without providing details that the trade deal also included a protocol on palm oil. Now, global weather updates. First from China. The Chinese government on Tuesday ordered the shutdown of schools and businesses in at least 10 cities ahead of Super Typhoon Ragasa slamming into the country's south. Chinese tech hub Shenzhen has ordered the evacuation of 400,000 people, with the city's emergency management authorities warning of severe wind, rain, waves as well as floods. In Hong Kong, schools and other businesses have been shut and flights to and fro Hong Kong have been cancelled on Tuesday. As the typhoon has already caused disruptions in northern Philippines, residents have been evacuated as the country's disaster response agency went on full alert. Some families were also evacuated in Ilocos Norte province after heavy rains triggered flooding in the area. And extreme weather has taken a toll at home as well. At least 7 people have been killed due to electrocution in Kolkata. A cloud burst on Monday night in the West Bengal state capital with 248 millimeters of rain in a matter of hours caused massive waterlogging and flooding in the city. It stopped railway services in Howrah division and Sialda division. Schools and colleges have also announced closure due to the disruption caused by the heavy rains. India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh and his Moroccan counterpart Abdul Latif Ludi jointly inaugurated Tata Advanced System Limited's new manufacturing facility in Casablanca for the production of indigenously developed WHAP 8x8s. Delivering the inaugural address, the minister highlighted the evolving bilateral relations between India and Morocco. He further said that the inauguration of this defence manufacturing facility, established by an Indian company, in a matter of pride for Indian defence industry, highlighting the spirit of Atmanirbhar Bharat.
आज का यह आयोजन केवल एक इंडस्ट्रियल माइलस्टोन नहीं है, यह दोनों देशों के बीच बढ़ते हुए स्ट्रेटेजिक कन्वर्जेंस का एक सशक्त प्रतीक है। इस फैसिलिटी की स्थापना वास्तव में एक ऐतिहासिक क्षण है। यह उन शुरुआती विदेशी डिफेंस मैन्युफैक्चरिंग प्लांट्स में से एक है जिसे किसी भारतीय कंपनी ने स्थापित किया है। यह केवल टाटा एडवांस सिस्टम्स के लिए ही नहीं, बल्कि पूरे इंडियन डिफेंस इंडस्ट्री के लिए एक बहुत ही उल्लेखनीय कदम है।
India's Chief of Naval Staff Admiral Dinesh K. Tripathi called on Sri Lankan Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya in Colombo on Tuesday. Admiral Tripathi held comprehensive talks on strengthening bilateral defence and maritime cooperation. The Navy Chief also engaged with senior defence officials and commanders from Sri Lanka's Navy, Air Force and Army to discuss advancing joint training, operational synergy and participation in Indian-hosted events like the Admiral's Cup, International Fleet Review and Milan. The Naval Chief is on a 4-day visit to Sri Lanka, in which he is scheduled to participate in Galle Dialogue on Wednesday. Earlier today, speaking at Colombo's National Defence College, the Navy Chief called for continued agility and collaboration between the two nations' armed forces, highlighting India-Sri Lanka's deep historical and strategic partnership in the Indian Ocean region. Now, defence experts say that Operation Sindoor against Pakistan has shown the world how to put the enemy to shame. DD India's Vishal Baristo has caught up with the Chief of IDS, Air Marshal Ashutosh Dikshit, during a conference on UAVs and air defence systems in Delhi on Tuesday. Take a look.
I have with me Air Marshal Dikshit. He is heading the IDS. Let's talk to him and find out. Sir, when we talk about self-reliance in air defence, how do you see things?
So for self-reliance, you see the complete IACCS system is made by Indian Air Force and BEL. All the counter-drone systems, they have been procured from India, designed and ideated by Air Force and Navy and Army.
How important is the role of IDS when it comes to research and analysis?
The effect of integration is that the sum of parts becomes more than the arithmetic addition. This is the main idea of having IDS and integrating all three services. So what we do is we see that there is no duplication taking place. The effort is channeled in single direction.
We were fighting 2:1 because they were 2 plus more than 1. And still we could make it because India was very much prepared for this, especially we were also, a lot of focus was there on India's self-reliance.
Yeah, so self-reliance is our main driver. Fighting 2:1, actually you have to fight asymmetrically and then only you should be able to do well. Our main thing is that economically and asymmetrically using self-reliance we should be able to move ahead and get better and better capabilities for national security.
Because India was already prepared, because there was a lot of focus on self-reliance, the Operation Sindoor was a big success. With cameraman Jagdev in Delhi, this is Vishal Baristo for DD India.
And still to come in this edition of DD India Live. India celebrates 10th National Ayurveda Day, honouring distinguished figures in the field. And iconic former cricket umpire Dickie has passed away at the age of 92.
We have with us the living legend who needs no introduction. 5 National Film Awards, 9 State Film Awards, 2 Padma Awards, and now the ultimate Dada Saheb Phalke Award.
It's a great honor and it's a reflection, very huge. Entertainment industry is very huge and possibilities are amazing. If you ask, I can say Amitabh Bachchan. Amazing. He's one of the greatest artists in the country.
How do you see the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi?
Prime Minister is doing, what he's doing is a perfect tapas for the country. And it is showing.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Gautam Roy. Union Home Minister Amit Shah has inaugurated the Startup Conclave 2025 in Gujarat's Gandhinagar on Tuesday. The conclave was organized under the theme of Elevate, Innovate and Accelerate at Gandhinagar's Mahatma Mandir, with the minister highlighting how students, industry leaders and entrepreneurs will be discussing ways to realize Prime Minister Modi's mission of making India's mark in the startup world.
2 दिन का कॉन्क्लेव मोदी जी ने जो मिशन शुरू किया है, स्टार्टअप की दुनिया में भारत की पहचान बनाने का, इसके सभी पहलुओं पर चिंता भी करेगा, चिंतन भी करेगा और समाधान भी ढूंढेगा। गुजरात में 2023 में पहले स्टार्टअप कॉन्क्लेव के अनुसंधान में हुआ है। उसमें लगभग 250 स्टार्टअप ने अपना प्रदर्शन किया था। यूनिकॉर्न स्थापित कंपनियों ने भी अपना प्रदर्शन किया था और उससे जो अनुभव आया और उससे जो फायदा हुआ, इसी का विश्लेषण कर गुजरात सरकार ने आज 2025 में स्टार्टअप कॉन्क्लेव 2025 का शुरुआत किया है।
India's Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan launched Viksit Bharat Buildathon 2025 in New Delhi on Tuesday. The initiative aims to nurture creativity, problem solving and self-reliance among the youth. The Department of School Education and Literacy of the Ministry of Education, in collaboration with the Atal Innovation Mission of Niti Aayog, is organizing Viksit Bharat Buildathon 2025 on the 13th of October this year. This will inspire young minds to ideate, design and build prototypes on themes of Atmanirbhar Bharat, Swadeshi, Vocal for Local and Samriddha Bharat. The students can register for Buildathon from today till the 6th of next month. And speaking on the occasion, the minister said that in the last 11 years, Prime Minister Modi has given priority to innovation. He said that the government has also launched the Atal Innovation Mission to promote innovation among school students.
भारत में पिछले 11 साल के अंदर प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने इनोवेशन को एक प्राथमिकता की विषय बनाई है। अटल इनोवेशन मिशन जैसे इनिशिएटिव शुरू करके देश के स्कूली बच्चों के अंदर नवाचार की प्रवृत्ति बढ़े, नवाचार के प्रति आग्रह बढ़े, उनकी इंक्लिनेशन इनोवेशन की ओर बढ़े और इनोवेटर बने, मेमोराइजेशन से क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग की तरफ जाएं। इसीलिए उन्होंने अटल टिंकरिंग लैब की कल्पना की। आज देश में सफलता के साथ 10,000 अटल टिंकरिंग लैब काम कर रहे हैं। ना केवल विदेश में रहने वाले CBSE बोर्ड्स के स्कूल, धीरे धीरे अटल टिंकरिंग लैब की कंसेप्ट ग्लोबल साउथ में भी जाएगा।
India marked International Day of Sign Languages 2025 with a grand celebration in New Delhi, showcasing the government's commitment to accessibility, inclusivity and empowerment of the deaf community. Here's a report.
Minister of Social Justice and Empowerment Dr. Virendra Kumar, along with Minister of State B.L. Verma and Ramdas Athawale, attended the program organized by Indian Sign Language Research and Training Center. The theme of this year's celebration was No Human Rights Without Sign Language Rights. The event witnessed cultural performances including skits, dance and music presentations by children with hearing and speech impairments, who captivated the audience with their talent. Several significant initiatives were launched on this occasion. The government announced a postgraduate diploma in ISL interpretation and teaching, along with a 6-month online ISL training program. A massive repository of 3,189 ISL e-content videos was rolled out to strengthen digital learning. Additionally, 100 new STEM terms in Indian Sign Language were introduced, and ISL was integrated into the Project Inclusion app to support inclusive classrooms. The ISL versions of 18 National Book Trust titles were also released. An English teaching program in collaboration with Teach was launched to enhance communication skills for the deaf community.
बच्चों में अगर कोई चीज़, ईश्वर ने कोई चीज़ की अगर कमी रखी है तो कोई दूसरी चीज़ों को उनके अंदर बढ़ाया भी है, और उस प्रतिभा का उपयोग करके ये बच्चे जीवन में आगे बढ़ें, सशक्त हों। इस दृष्टि से सामाजिक न्याय अधिकारिता मंत्रालय, हमारा दिव्यांगजन सशक्तिकरण विभाग लगातार प्रयास कर रहा है। हमें मिलकर ऐसा समाज बनाना होगा जहां प्रत्येक बधिरजन अपनी सांकेतिक भाषा में सहज और सम्मानपूर्वक संवाद कर सके। यही सच्चे अर्थों में समावेशी भारत का निर्माण होगा।
The winners of the 8th National Indian Sign Language Competition were facilitated during the event, adding further significance to the celebration. With these initiatives, the government reaffirmed its resolve to promote inclusivity and empower millions through sign language, ensuring communication without barriers. Kriti Vadera's report for DD India.
Now, India is in discussions with the government of Sri Lanka to conclude a memorandum of understanding on cooperation in Ayurveda, that's traditional medicine. That's what the Indian High Commissioner Santosh Jha has announced today. Speaking at the 10th Ayurveda Day celebrations in Colombo, he underlined that Ayurveda is an important part of the shared cultural heritage between the two nations. The event was held at Colombo University under the theme Ayurveda for People and Planet. Sri Lanka's Minister of Health and Mass Media, Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa, expressed appreciation for India's continued support in the field. The commemoration, held under the theme Ayurveda for People and Planet at the University of Colombo, was jointly organized by Sri Lanka's Department of Ayurveda, the High Commission of India, the Swami Vivekananda Cultural Centre and the faculties of Indigenous Medicine of Colombo and Gampaha Vikramarachi universities. During the program, distinguished Ayurveda pioneer Professor R.S. Jayawardene was also felicitated.
Ayurveda serves as a profound bridge between India and Sri Lanka, connecting the two nations through our shared heritage.
Now, India's Ministry of Ayush, in collaboration with the All India Institute of Ayurveda, Goa, is hosting the 10th National Ayurveda Day on Tuesday. The event was inaugurated by Pratap Rao Jadhav, Minister of State for the Ministry of Ayush, under the theme Ayurveda for People, Ayurveda for Planet. To mark the occasion, the National Dhanamantri Ayurveda Awards 2025 were also presented to distinguished individuals in the field. A tripartite MOU on integrative oncology research and care among AIIA, Ministry of Ayush and Tata Hospital was also signed at the event. Now, President Draupadi Murmu presented the 71st National Film Awards in the national capital, New Delhi. The awards were given in various categories to celebrated excellence in filmmaking, storytelling as well as acting. Veteran actor, director and producer Mohanlal was conferred with the prestigious Dadasaheb Phalke Award for the year 2023, honouring his legacy in Indian cinema. Vikrant Messi starred 12th Fail won the Best Feature Film Award at the ceremony. Messi also won the award for the Best Actor category for the same film. An iconic star, Shah Rukh Khan, also bagged the Best Actor award for his performance in the film Jawan. Rani Mukherjee received the Best Actress award for her role in the film Mrs. Chatterjee vs. Norway. Renowned Assamese singer and musician Zubin Garg was cremated with full state honours on Tuesday at the Kamarkuchi NC village located on the outskirts of the state capital, Guwahati in Assam. His mortal remains were taken from Arjun Bhogeswar Borua Sports Complex, where lakhs of fans, celebrities and well-wishers had gathered over the past 2 days to pay homage. He was accorded a ceremonial 21-gun salute. The singer's remains, draped in the traditional Assamese gamosa and placed inside a cold glass coffin, were accompanied by his 85-year-old father, wife Karma Saikya and other family members. In keeping with tradition, Zubin Garg was cremated by his sister, Pami Borthakur, as crowds chanted his name in grief and reverence. Thousands who gathered to pay the singer tribute sang Mayabani, one of his most iconic songs. And in sports, sad news coming in there as well. Iconic former cricket umpire Dickie Bird has passed away at the age of 92 on Tuesday. Bird, whose first-class playing career was cut short due to injury, became one of the most famous umpires in the game. He officiated in 66 test matches and 76 one-day internationals, including 3 World Cup finals. Dickie Bird enjoyed an illustrious career as an international umpire, writing his name into history as the most famous and popular official in the game's history. Bird's home county, Yorkshire, which he played for and served as president, described him as a national treasure, known not only for his umpiring excellence but also for his eccentricities and warmth. And that's all we have for this edition of DD India Live. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. And for those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India's mobile app. It's available on both Android and iOS. Just scan that QR code on the screen and download the app. And we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Gautam Roy, and from all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Live.